Hello everyone, it's Julie from Camellia Crafts Designs. Welcome and welcome back. I'm here today with a little 6x6 junk journal that I'm making. I recently did a video on how to do these cabochon embellishments, and I did say that if anyone wanted to see me decorate this book I would do. But then I thought, why start a project halfway through? So what I'm going to do today is show you how I got to this stage. Obviously on a different book, I can't do this one again, can I? And I don't have enough design paper in this pack to do another cover exactly the same. So I'm going to do this cover in some just neutral. I've got this lovely green from the paper stack, the die cuts with a view one with the 180 sheets that's going to last forever. And I'm going to show you roughly how I made this cover. I'll take the signatures out. Now this one, this was, well, I won't say a happy accident. This was a mini album, a ready-made one by Graphic 45, and I didn't like it. I just did not like it. So I took out all the gummins and left myself with the cover. So I'd already got my 6x6 cover ready-made. Now if you're lucky enough to find, I do a lot with books, if you find a 6x6 book with a nice chunky spine, use that. But not everybody does. You might not have the right size, especially with charity shops not being open at minute. You might be a bit luckier if you're one of my US ladies or another country who's not as badly hit, because we're still in full lockdown in the UK. So yeah, I'm just going to show you how I made this cover. Now this is how I would normally make one if I'd not looked out and got one. So I use medium weight chipboard. The brand is Graphics. You can get it on Amazon and eBay. Again, a lot more easy to come by in the US. We're a little bit more limited here, but we can get it and it's not that expensive. So I'll just move the papers I'm going to use out of the way. Now, because I made mini albums, I've got lots and lots of scraps of this chipboard. So I've dug in my box and I've found one piece that is already 6x6. I've got another piece that is slightly longer. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is cut this other piece down to 6x6, and I'm going to use this one for my spine. So let's write down the exact dimensions that we're going to use, and then I'll leave them on camera. Got my planner out and I'll just jot it down. Grab a pen that works, not easy in this house. I'm just going to flick to a let's get, I'm going to leave it in here or I'll lose it otherwise. So each page is 6 inch. I'm not even translating that to centimetres because it'll be bits and bats by 6. And the spine, grab the ruler. Again, it's 6 inch high and it's going to be 2, and it is 2.5. It looks more, but that's because of it's all put together now. It's 2.5 inches wide. So that's your covers, and then the spine needs to be 6. I'm writing inch instead of the 6 inch by 2.5 inch, of course. So let's do that. And quite often I'll use my rotary cutter that I know not everyone's got, and I'll say, but you can do it with a ruler and a knife. And because I have been practicing using my ruler and knife and I'm getting much better, I'm going to get a whirl. I'm going to try doing it with my ruler and knife. So let's grab my craft knife. I bought one of those that I see Angela Kerr use her craft knife a lot, and she doesn't seem to have many problems. So I bought one of these type. It were about, honestly, I think it were about £2 from Amazon. I did buy a branded one of Fiskars, and I don't know where I've put it. And I'm using this one, and it works exactly the same. So pop the pen pot back. Ha! It nearly fell over then. That would have been amazing. Pop it on windowsill. So I want to cut this piece down. If you were cutting from a big sheet, they come in 12x12s, or you can get A4. You'd do it exactly the same, you'd just be doing a bit more cutting than me. Right, I don't know whether that 6x6 I've got is completely square. That's it, it fits that way better than, or is it that way? But hey ho. So I'm just going to line it up, grab a pencil, and I'm just going to draw down there where I want to cut. So when I've cut that, it's going to be the same size as that one. So I like to line my pencil mark up on the grids on my mat, and then I'm going to line my ruler up, and then we're going to see if this is going to work. Although I've been practicing using my craft knife, I haven't cut through any of this stuff. So I'm just going to gently go. We'll go. That's 2, 3. I can feel it going further each time. Oh, and now I can feel matte. I've done it. I'm quite impressed with that. That gives me a much nicer edge than when I cut it with my rotary trimmer. I think that's my new way of doing it. So we now have 2 pieces that are 6x6. You'll see this one's got written on, because we're doing a lot of mini albums. I used to cut my pieces up ready and mark them so it were easier to grab to. Now we're going to cut this down. We want 2.5 inches. So we've got a spine that's 2.5 by 6. So let's mark what 2.5 inches is. I'm going to use my pencil. So that's 2.5. And I'm going to do a mark at the top and again at the bottom. And then I'll bring those together and draw my line. So because this is yeah, 6x5, I'm going to end up with 2 spines here, so I'll have my spine ready for my next one. Because I see a run on little hardback 6x6 journals coming on. You know, you just get urged to do something. And that's what I'm getting urged to do. So pop my pencil line straight on my grids on my mat. I do find that so useful. If you're wondering, this is a metric mat, it's in centimetres, so each one of these grid lines is a centimetre. I've got another mat that covers the rest of my desk. This is a big A2 mat, and then I've got an A3 mat that is in inches. So if I'm doing anything that I need to use the mat to measure, I'll just grab that one and pop it on top. We're nearly through. I couldn't cut with these knives for years. I think something must have just clicked. There we go, felt it go through. I don't know if you have to get the right pressure, the right angle, or the right ruler. I do like this ruler. It's got some rubber grips on the bottom, and it's got a place to put my fingers to keep them safe. Right, so that's those done and dusted. Now I'm going to get my Tyvek. This is pretty similar to that Edith Holden yeah, binder cover, journal cover I made, and I'm going to do a very similar thing. I'll perhaps just go a bit more in detail with it. So I'm going to line these up. Again, grid lines are very handy. Now the gap we're going to want between there, again because I did a lot of mini albums, I've got here 3 pieces of the chipboard stuck together, and what that does is I can put that in that gap and know that is the amount of room I want. Some people say different amounts. I find with my chipboard the width of 3 pieces is the perfect gap. So we'll go ahead and put some Tyvek. We'll put it on the spine bit. This is the Tyvek tape. Again, it's another one of those things. It's not as readily, if I could talk, readily available in the UK, Tyvek. We don't use it on envelopes, so there's no used Tyvek envelopes kicking about. We have to buy Tyvek in sheets. So you've then got to cut it, you've then got to glue it, and I did come across this and it wasn't cheap. I can't find it. I did definitely buy it off Amazon. Not sure the exact price. Tyvek tape, double-sided tape, and it does work out cheaper for me. Again, I always keep my very sticky things in bags because my desk's covered in rubbish, bits of fluff, what I've been doing, bits of dust. Right, I'm going to take, yes, that's it. There's a wide part and a narrow part. If I take the narrow part off first, I then line my spine piece up just with the bit that I've exposed. Yep, I'm going to do that again. The reason we use Tyvek, if you're not familiar with it, is it's fabulous. It can be cut, but it can't be torn, so it really does give some strength to your spine. Again, I didn't have to do that on my original journal cover. It was ready made for me. Graphic 45 did all the hard work. Now this is where my measuring piece is going to come in, and also I find this easier when I'm using the tape because my measuring piece don't move because it sticks to the tape. So what I'm going to do, in case you're still wondering what on earth I'm on about, I'm going to press that and it stays, look, up to my spine piece. I'm then going to grab one of my 6x6 pieces and I'm going to place it on, again up to my spine piece, can you see? And then I'm going to press down. Then that will come up and I've got the perfect gap. I know when I did my Edith Holden one, I just eyeballed it. But this is a much smaller book. I think it needs to be a bit more precise. Also, not everyone's as good at guessing. Right. I'm not happy with that. I'm taking it off. Do you know why I'm not happy with it? Yeah, I'm doing that again. Do you know how I said some of my pieces of chipboard aren't completely square? Well, I ended up with it a bit shorter at the top. So I've just took it off. I'm going to replace it. Excuse my head. Try that again. Much better, yep. So we're then going to do that again on this piece. So I'm going to take the sticky off, pop that on. Just going to check which way is best to put my chipboard, and it's that way. Yeah, pop that on. Again, press it up to the spacer piece. Excuse the noggin again, and then that just peels off. Howdy hi, howdy ho. Quite happy with that. So I'm now going to cut some more pieces of Tyvek to put over. I'm just going to cut these one flush. I'll put the Tyvek on the other side and then I'll wrap it around to this side so even the end is covered. Because you can see my chipboard's not cut majorly perfectly, but not an issue really. It's all going to get covered. I'm also putting material on the spine. So grab my Tyvek roll back. Yeah, if I'd have left that out while I did that bit, I'd have had all these little bits stuck to it. It'd have been a nightmare. So I'm going to cut that yay long. So I've got some to wrap round onto the other side. Just checking what lighting's like on this video. It's very weird outside today. It keeps going really bright, then really dull. So I've put my ring light on its lowest setting. So you might see differences in light, but hopefully they're all levels of light that are make it alright for you to see. So I'm now going to stick this on. Do you know, my eyes sometimes are that bad, I can't tell which is the Tyvek and which is the backing. Only downside to this. But if you just bend it, you can do it. Yeah. I'm just taking the narrow piece off again. And I'm going to place this. I'm seeing where the edge comes to on the other side to line it up. So that's that. I'll then fold it back and take the wide piece off. There you go. You'll see a lot of spinning on here. I can only do things a certain way. Very strange. I think that's the old left-handed, right-handed business, isn't it? Do you know, when I was younger, I could do a lot more things with my left hand that I can't do now. One of my kids, apart from writing with the right hand, does everything else with the left. When she was little, she did used to write with the left as well as the right. So I wonder if she's what they call ambidextrous. I don't suppose it matters, does it? Might make it a bit easier for making junk journals. Right, that's those all off, and I'm going to bend those over. Now, can you see, because the tops weren't perfectly lined up, the chipboard wasn't perfectly the exact same length. It doesn't matter now I've done this. I can't tell. It were only millimetres out. So we've now got that, and what I'm going to do now is give it a little bit of a bend. I'm going to go both ways. I haven't decided which is the in or outside yet. That's going to be the inside, I think, with the Tyvek as it is. I'm going to grab my bone folder and I'm going to just score down these lines. There we go. And that's it, we've got the cover. Now, if you look at this one, I've put paper on the pages, then I've put the fabric on after. So we'll do the paper next. Because the book's 6x6, I like to leave an inch at each side. It doesn't have to go right up to there, but just a bit shy. Or sometimes I'll just butt it up to where the Tyvek is, so it's not too thick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it 7 inches that way and 8 inches that way, because we want an inch either end. We only need an inch to wrap over here. So I'm going to cut my 2 pieces of paper down to 7 inch by 8 inch. I'll grab my big chopper. There's no point pausing, is there? Could I? I could have actually used a craft knife, but I'm too chicken. I'm too chicken to cut thin paper. I'm going to do them both at the same time. 8 by 7 they want to be. It's completely neutral, this paper, so I'm not too bothered which way it ends up. So that's 8 and that's 7. Pop that back out of the way and they can go in my collage folder. So what I'm going to do now is glue that on. Yeah, I'm going to butt it up, I think, to the Tyvek. Just makes that a little bit smoother and nicer. And I'm going to glue it on with my, with my glue. I'm going to use my glue. Yeah, I'll start gluing while I try and remember what kind of glue I'm using. Collal. I'm going to use my Collal all-purpose glue. It is my favourite glue of the moment. I did test it on fabric, not too good on fabric. I've no idea what the difference between this and Fabri-Tac and the Beacon 3-in-1 is, but there is one. Some of them are more positive for when you want to use them on paper, but they don't seem to let you use them on fabric as well. It just doesn't, it's not nice. It's not nice. That's about all I can say. Right, there we go. That looks like, if I'd done that in paint, I think I could sell that for millions. Is it Jackson Pollock who did paintings like that? Yeah, with all those different colour squiggles. Now, I know I've measured it, but I'm not even, it's about an inch either end. Then I'm going to come in, and I think I will use, I've seen someone do this and it was fabulous. Just grabbing a card. Ooh. To help smooth that glue out underneath. Now, whatever album this is going to be, this is going to be my base paper. It's not as thick as the one I used, so I'd put something else on it. Matte and layer something. Right. That's all looking good to me. I didn't actually need a full inch there because I did bring it in to where the tie break was, so I'm just going to go ahead and just trim that a bit because that'll be an awful lot to fold over. Right, I'm then going to come in and cut these corners off. I did see Zoe Toefield, she had a little tip for us. You know, if you're not really good at cutting the corners off accurately, first she folded it over like that. So let's try Zoe's trick. So what you need to do is you need to leave enough paper to wrap this corner and not leave the chipboard exposed. So it's medium weight chipboard, it's quite a thin paper, so I want to leave about 2/8 of an inch. Could that be a quarter? So I'm just going to come in at a slight angle to where I think it's more like 3/16 than 2/8. There you go. Better to have too much than not enough. And if your paper's thin, it's very forgiving. If you're using a thick paper or a material, a fabric, you've got to be much more precise. So, yeah, I do like that little tip, Zoe. Thank you very much. I was watching Zoe's video on how to do a curved spine. I've only ever done one, and it was Zoe that I learnt it from. I used her tutorial. I'm just going to have a quick sip of tea because I'm going a bit croaky. That's better. Right, then I want to come in and just fold these over. I like to do this before I put any extra glue in and I don't get my fingers all sticky. I hope I'm staying in frame for this, you know. It's a bit long, this. Right, so yeah, I'm going to use this glue again. I'm not going to use tape on this. Reason being, it is quite a thin paper. We're using the medium weight chipboard. If you saw me do the Edith Holden one, we were using a thick Edith Holden book cover and it had a lot. Yeah, it was very wide. I would say it was about as wide as 2 or 3 of these chipboards. This though, I'm gonna use the glue. So the first one I want to stick down is this one. So I'm gonna come in, I want to get a bit of glue in that crease. And then I'm just going to do my usual wiggle. So fold that over. I'm going to come in with bone folder with this one. I didn't use the bone folder on the front because sometimes you can, I'll show it you. Can you see you can mark your paper with ender it? I didn't want to do that up front. Now I've put way more glue in this than I needed. So it's time to grab my baby wipes. That I saw on the floor behind me somewhere when I tidied up. Come here, you. There, I've got you. You know, because my craft room, I'm going to show you this. Because my craft room is, right, 6 foot by 6. I've got loads of furniture and I've got my desk. I've got my chair. Sometimes I have to, I really do, I have to spin round in my chair to actually be able to get up to get out of the room. So I've got this. That's what I call my granny grabber. I don't want to drop things on the floor. Oh dear. Anyway, all the time I'm talking, that Kalal is getting a little bit tackier. So I've got my baby wipe. I'm going to come in again and press that down. Sticking a lot better this time. It is good if you leave it a minute or so, Kalal. So I've just wiped a bit of that off. There we go. I didn't want too much glooping out. I could have done with a semi-dry baby wipe, but I don't have any at the minute. So I'm happy with that now. I'm then going to grab my bone folder and I want to just tuck. Can you see what I'm doing? I'll tell you what, I'm gonna get all fancy now. Just gonna pause while I zoom in for this piece. Go on, pause. You know you want to. Right, I'm zoomed in now so you can see this. Right, I've got my bone folder. I'm on camera, yeah. And I'm just going to turn that little lip over there. Yeah. that is what helps you get a nice neat corner. Yeah, so that's turned over. I'm going to stay zoomed in so you probably can't see me put all this glue on. I'm just putting some more of my, that were a lot, some more of my collal on my little flap. Get a bit in there, and then I'm going to, can you see me? Yeah. Can you see now what happens to the corner? It's much neater because you've tucked in that tiny little bit there. Yeah. So bend that over. Just going to press that gently with the end of my bone folder, and then I'm going to press this down. Yep. So I'll lift that up and show it you. I've got a bit of glue that needs rubbing off. Can you see the corner now?
Sorry,
nice
I'm not
and neat
sure.
That is. Did we ask her if she could see corner? I don't think we did. Right, I'm just going to pause again and put you back on zooming out. And we're back. I've had some trouble pausing and unpausing my phone because I've got glue on my finger. So that weren't good, were it? Right, I'm zoomed back out now. I'm just grabbing my glue rubber. Can you see? I've got a little bit of glue there I didn't want there. There you go, it's gone. Especially when you're using thin papers, I think the glue rubber is a little bit more gentle than your finger rubbing backwards and forwards. Right, I'm going to do this side as well. But I hope zooming it in just helps you see more what I'm doing. So I'm doing it again. Just tucking that little bit in. I'll then put my glue on here. A little bit in the crease because I want to make sure the edge is stuck down nicely. I was holding my breath and then I started breathing heavy doing this. Then fold it over, and again I'll just pop that down like that. Bit seeping out, not too much. And there we have it. I'm just holding that a minute while the collal takes a second to set. But yeah, we've now got nice neat corners. Look at the front. I'll come to you rather than mess about zooming in and out again. They're lovely and neat. That is something you'll get better at with practice. It used to frustrate me so much. If you want to practice it, before you come in and you get a full mini album, grab a little piece of your chipboard that I've now put, look at that, put a baby wipe on it. Grab a little piece of your chipboard, grab a little piece of scrap paper, and just practice doing it before you do it on your actual album. If you're not confident with it, practice. That's what I did, and I got better. Practice really does make perfect. It's amazing though, isn't it? Well, not perfect. Practice, I'm not going to say practice makes perfect. I don't want to use the word perfect. Practice makes good enough. Right, now I'm going to come in with my bone folder, and along those creases, I'm just going to do that. It just makes them look so much nicer and neater. There we go. So that's one side covered. I'm going to let you watch me cover other side. Grab me other piece of paper. Yeah, I put that tie back on a bit wonky, so the whole cover would be wonky if I did it. I'm just going to do it like yay. Anyway, let's put my glue on. Oh, I can't even pick that piece of paper up. What am I like? I really need to grow my nails some more. They're in a terrible state. I just can't be bothered to have my nails done. I don't even bite my nails. They just grow and I just clip them off. I can't do housework and I can't do crafting with long nails. I just can't. I know some people can. I can't. Oh, there we go. It's getting all Jackson Pollock now. Woo, there you go, Jackson. Fabulous. What a genius that man were. Right. So yeah, that's going to lap over onto the tie back a little bit, because if I don't, There's a slight, ever so slight grain to this paper. And it wouldn't be straight, would it? Right, grab my card again. This just really helps smooth it out. There you go. Right, I might have got a few bits there. No, I haven't. It's fine. Again, because I've not put it right up to the corner, I made that a bit too long. Did world end? Nah, did it out. Right. I'm now going to come in and cut my corners. I'm going to do Zoe-less method now. I've gone back to eyeballing. About 3/16 of an inch it seems to be. You can buy little gadgets to help you do this. They're horrendously expensive, so I've never bought one. Right, I'm going to do this side first. So before I start gluing, I do just like to put my creases in. I like to fold them up. If it were a thick paper, I'd come in and do it like that with a bone folder. It's not a thick paper, it's quite thin. I'm going to put metal book corners on this one, I think. There we go. So, grab some glue and pop it on here. I know I've put too much on there, I just know it. Yeah, look at it, it's all squidgy-diggy now. I get a bit giddy and carried away sometimes. But it's all going to get covered this bit, it's not end of world. And it comes off anyway with that glue rubber. Just when you get a lot of it, it takes forever with glue rubber. You know, you've been really giddy like I have there. I don't mind about that bit because it's just going to help stick that paper down, isn't it? Right, let's give it a little go with bone folder. Look at that, so much glue that I didn't need. What a waste, woman, what a waste. Now we'll tuck this in. I'm not going to zoom in again, I'm just going to do it. You know what I'm doing now. I'm just really tucking it in so it's flush with that edge. I'm going to put less glue on this than I did last one, because it was just ridiculous, weren't it? Nobody needs that much glue. I don't think Jeff Capes is going to come and try and tear the book apart. Now, I think only British ladies of my age, and even then you might not know Jeff Capes were. He was a strong man. Oh my, what's a strong man? They used to have like these competitions, didn't they? They did wrestling, not wrestling, weightlifting, and I suppose any Scottish ladies will know. They used to do the Highland game, the caber tossing and all sorts. It used to be on every Christmas, didn't it? World's Strongest Man, that were it. And Jeff Capes were a British champion at it. Jeff Capes, I don't even know if he's still with us. So he's definitely, if he ain't, he's definitely not going to come and tear my book apart, is he? Right, once I've done it with my finger, I'm going to come in a bit and do it with my bone folder. Yeah, quite happy with that. Neat corner number 3. Then I'm going to do this one. Seems to have turned that one back on itself. Don't you go wrong now, number 4. We've done 3 good corners. Don't you dare come in and be a naughty corner. That's better. Right, glue again. I did well with glue on the last one, I didn't go mad. Bit in the edge. Yeah, I'm not squeezing my bottle as hard. I think when I'm rabbiting, I get a bit giddy and squeeze that bottle way too hard. Oh, little update on that bottle. Yes, they work fine with Kalal, I have heard from someone they put, and I can't remember the name of the glue, it was Tania at Tatty Treasures. She put a certain glue in it and it reacted with the plastic of the bottle. So there you go. I don't know whether that would be the same of the expensive plastic bottles people are using, the Sugar Bell ones. But no, I'm not spending over £10 on a empty glue bottle. It's not going to happen. I'm from Yorkshire. Right. So we've got that done. I'm going to come in again and just along that edge. It just makes it look so neat, a bit more professional. Because we need professional, neat junk journals. Well, I do. I'm a bit of a perfectionist in some areas. So there we have it. You now have exactly what I had there. You've made it using chipboard and not a ready-made graphic 45 album. Now the other thing, and I've gone ahead and done a little bit of preparation because I'm not sewing on camera. I've now got a piece of fabric, and I'll tell you the measurements. I did have them in my head, but they've disappeared. The book is 6 inches long. I tend to like to go about 1.25 inches over. So what did I do here? I did 8 3/4. As long as you've got a good bit, look how that is, to tuck over and stick down. The width of it, I measured that one, so again I can't remember what I'd done, and that was 4.5. So I wanted to make this one a little bit wider because I knew we'd need it a bit wider because of that Tyvek. So I did this one 4 3/4. So can you see? It's going to cover the spine of our book, and it's just going to fold over that little bit. So I ironed it, cut it to size, and I've just done a running stitch because I like that. You don't actually need it. Once this is all glued down, it's not going to go fraying away and disappearing off your book. But I just like the look of it. If you don't have a sewing machine, you don't have to do it. You could put some rickrack or some other ribbon or cord or anything down there if you found it looked too plain. Now I'm just going to pause. No, I'm not. I'm going to do something before I pause. I'm a mad woman. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint this with white acrylic paint. So I am going to pause while I grab my brush and my paint. And I'm back. I'll just translate the let me just pause while I grab. What it really means is, oh my word, can't remember where I've put that. Don't want to go rummaging for it on camera. So yeah, I've found my paint now and my paintbrush. I've tidied my desk, that's my excuse. I've rearranged a lot of things, they're in slightly different places to hopefully make it easier for me to work. Now I've just got some white acrylic paint. Again, I'm using this because it was £1, not because of the brand. And I just want to paint this chipboard because when we put the fabric on, we don't want to see horrible brown chipboard through. This just helps it matches the colour of the Tyvek, doesn't it? It's Tyvek coloured paint ish. So yeah, I'll do one side. I'm also going to do the inside. If I show you this one where I've gutted that and it were not too neat, I've just done the middle with Tyvek because that's going to I think this will perhaps need a little bit more there and there before I finish it, so I might do that after this. I've just got my cheapy little brush. I do like this acrylic paint. It's Nouveau by Tonic. I have a feeling it was some horrendously stupid price when they brought it out, and it ended up on every crap's £1. I wonder why that were. Maybe people weren't paying a stupidly horrendous price for it. I don't know. I'm very sarcastic today. It's terrible. So I copped for it on there. I find it's easier than a tube. I think when I've used all this paint up, when I go back to my cheapy pound tubes, I might just decant them into this tub. I just find it easy to work with. So that were, yeah, that weren't rocket science, that were it. That were painting a piece of chipboard with white paint. You've seen that before. I'm now going to pause again and I will paint the other side because you really don't need to see that, and I will wait for it to dry. So it might be a couple of hours later when I come back, but to you it'll be like 2 seconds. So I'll see you in 2 seconds. And I'm back. Right, this is all dry now, so I'm going to stick this fabric on, and I'm using this high-tack fabric glue. This was a couple of pounds from the Works in the UK. It was when I got it. I've not been in Works for over a year because I've not been anywhere. So it's just like, it's a more gloopy type of PVA. So I'm just going to gloop some on, and then I'm going to use this card for spreading it, thinning it out. I've got a right pile of different cards from different places, loyalty cards. Just going to have to tilt that because, yeah, it's getting darker here now, so I've had to turn my light up and so I can see where I've got the glue. It's like icing a cake. Would have been easier if it wasn't white on white, but you can see the shine. Yep. I'm just going to get up to those edges now. Yeah, I've got enough left on my card. Oh, I'm going all left-handed at it there. I think I need a little more. I'm going to put some down these ridges. I'm going to put it up to the end of the, just to the end of the Tyvek. It's so much easier than a glue spreader because it's so much bigger. When I've spread it out with this, I'm going to come in with my finger just to make sure I've got those edges done properly. Yeah, I have in the past, and I think I did it on my Edith one, used Fabri-Tac or 3-in-1, but I don't hardly have any left, and I'm not going to buy any more. It's too expensive, basically, and I really don't like the smell. It didn't do my asthma any good whatsoever. Right, just going to make sure I've got it in those creases. I could have done it all with my finger, but it wouldn't have been as even. I'm just lightly going over to make sure I've got any bits that were, I've got too much glue on. Right, just wipe my finger with my baby wipe, and I'm going to come in and put my fabric on. My sewing machine's sewing really well at the minute. I can't tell which were front and which were back, so it doesn't really matter. And I'm just going to turn this sideways to help me get it even top and bottom. Right, I'm just going to fold that back to see. I've got way more on that side than that side, so I'm going to hutch it over a little bit. I'm just doing it by eye, I'm not really measuring. I want it pretty even on the front and the back cover. I'm now just going to bend it over just to check that before I press it down. I think that's not too bad. I think it needs to come over a little bit at that top. I'm just going to move that over slightly. That's okay. So I'm going to get my bone folder and I'm going to go in those creases. A bit of the glue is coming through a little bit, but not to write home about. I'm going to do this. I've used this before and it doesn't actually, if a teeny bit comes through, it doesn't stain. It's quite good. Right, I'm going to go in crease again. Just make sure this is stuck now. Now we'll turn it over, and I'm going to fold this bit over and stick it as well. So I'm just going to about there with glue. If we've got more fabric than glue, I can just trim the fabric off a little bit. Ooh. Yeah, it's glooping at me, it's glooping at me. You know, I say this time and time again, I want a jar on my desk to put my glue in so that it stays upside down and I don't have any of these problems with glue coming down to use. So I'm just going to put my lid back on and I'm going to prop that up. In case I need more. Stay, stay. You don't want to stay, it's going to fall. Stay. Yes. Okay. Right, I'm just going to initially spread that with my card. It's much easier to see. I didn't paint the inside in the end, I don't need to, because I'm doing a hidden spine. It's going to be covered up with whatever I use. I might use, yeah, I might use just card, I might use fabric. I've not really decided yet. So I'm then going to give that another smooth with my finger. Make sure it's all covered. A bit of extra glue off there. Keep it quiet. Put that down, wipe my finger. Then I'm going to come in and fold this over. It doesn't look straight. Quite a warped piece of canvas, this. It's not the usual muslin. I bought a slightly heavier weight canvas. I quite like it. Right, come in and do those. And we should now have this book to the same point as the one I showed you before. Let's have a look. There we have it. It is done. Straighten up for me. So, in the next video, I'm going to show. I'll go ahead and put something on the front of here, and I'll show you how to put a book plate on, which is pretty simple, and how to put this on. That'll just be a very quick, very short video. And then in the one after, I'll be going back to this book and decorating it. I just thought, rather than start a project, as I said, halfway through, I would show you how I did the actual cover. And there it is. You can cut those threads off or glue them down. So, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider subscribing, liking, drop me a comment. And yeah, that's it. I always think there's something else really earth-shattering to say at the end, and we're done now, so I'm off. See you later. Bye.